right, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to the broadcast here, the StarLadder I-League Invitational Season number 4 CIS qualifying action coming at you. And what is day number 2 of these qualifiers? Of course, 8 teams duking it out for one spot on the line, a chance to go to the minor event that is. Don't let that fool you, because it's still a $300,000 prize pool. And, of course, those all-important points are on the line for the Dota 2 Pro Circuit. So really excited to be here once again. We got our first best of 3 to kick things off here. Gambit Esports taking on No Creativity in this best out of 3. Again, a single elimination tournament. Winner moves on to the semifinals. Loser is done here in these qualifiers. So excited to be here. First of our 2 best of 3s once again. I am Breaky CPK, going to be your host for not only today, as I was yesterday, but throughout these whole CIS qualifiers. So again, excited to be covering this this region, especially as we saw yesterday. In case you missed those matches, by the way, right off the bat, I would recommend going back and watching either one of those series. Frankly, probably more the second series if I had to give the edge to one. But Vegas Squadron versus Hunkies from Zavad. What a crazy series, especially that game number 3 was. I feel like this region always produces, at the very least, entertaining Dota. It may not be the highest tier at times. It may not be the most, the best looking as far as teams just giving it. Well, they are giving it their all, but I mean, you get my point. It's a lot of fun to watch, on top of course, them being great teams and great players. I'm rambling on here. This is what happens when I do some solo casting. With that in mind, I do have a co-caster lined up, but unfortunately he wasn't able to make it to this first game. He is just getting home now, so he will be hopping in for the rest of this series as well as the rest of today. That being Tsunami, of course, as he has joined me yesterday. All right, enough of that, though. We got these 2 teams taking on one another. Gambit Esports versus No Creativity. So Gambit Esports over here on this side. This is a team that's, definitely a little more recognizable players, perhaps, or well, at least a more recognizable team. Players like Always Want to Fly, Iceberg, Cheshire Cat, etc. No Creativity, on the other hand. This is a mix of players that are also somewhat familiar and have been around the CIS scene for a fair amount, I think it's safe to say. Players like Scandal, Nefrit, Mata, I believe, definitely even comes to mind. Again, I don't know all the history of this region, I'm not going to lie. But I think it's safe to say recognizable players over here as well. So, No Creativity. I honestly am expecting, a fair amount out of them as well. And this is another series where who the hell knows what's going to happen here. I will state it right off the bat. I'm super excited to see Scandal. Scandal's a player that I personally have known for a pretty long time. This goes way back to, dare I say it, the Han days, where he was a star over there of sorts at a much younger age. But now he's, growing up. Not even necessarily, but he's been involved in the Dota 2 scene for a while. And I know he's had a success here and there. And I'm excited to see how he does here with Team No Creativity. All right, the draft's are underway. Undying was that first pick. We have been seeing a lot of Undying in this event so far. Again, only the one day, but we did have 6 games, spoiler alert, in total yesterday. Both series going the distance, so we saw Undying a fair amount of those matches, if not banned even. Undying has stepped up as a very effective, especially mid-camping support hero. Also ran in those aggressive dual lanes. A very run-at-you hero, spamming that decay. The Rip's an effective tool. Tombstone's great for team fighting. And even that Flesh Golem. Maybe it is a little bit underrated, but, amping that damage that you deal to the enemies. So, interesting that I'm noticing, though. They're running with an Enchantress and a Tusk, and then a Faceless Void on top of this. So, really kind of taking in what this draft is looking like for Gambit Esports. Those first 3 heroes are all heroes that could technically be ran in the position 4. So right off the bat, I'm not exactly sure what we should expect so far right here. Enchantress and Tusk are definitely 2 heroes that could also be ran in the off lane. I think Enchantress is safe to say is perhaps the most likely to be ran in the off lane if I had to guess of those 3, and maybe they're just going to go with the Undying Tusk double melee support. We definitely have seen that before, although not too often. It is a little bit awkward of a combo, I feel like, because Undying isn't necessarily as roam-heavy as a Tusk. So it's not like, you got these 2 heroes like an Earthshaker and a Tusk roaming around looking to set up kills really on necessarily. Undying wants to camp the lane where Tusk perhaps wants to be moving, setting up kills with the Ice Shard. So interesting synergy idea going on there with Gambit Esports. We'll see how they make it work. Faceless Void as their 4th pick. I would have to figure going to be their position 1 carry. Again, a little bit, maybe not so much. I was going to say a little bit funky, already having the 2 melees on top of that, but of course those are more the supports most likely, so the Chronosphere shouldn't necessarily be a huge issue. Enchantress with the Impetus auto attacks, not as concerned. And they were really flat. They didn't use any reserve time. I swear, I know I'm rambling on a little bit, but man, they literally did not use any reserve time. Gambit Esports is ready to go with this draft. They go with a Viper final pick. To attack into that Chronosphere and also as a mid option. So we haven't even looked at No Creativity's lineup. Let's go ahead and do that now. We got Night Stalker, Winter Wyvern, Weaver, and the Queen of Pain so far. Very mobile lineup. The slows of Viper aren't necessarily going to be the biggest issue so far, but you know, the Chronosphere is no doubt an effective tool against heroes like a Weaver, like a Queen of Pain, helping to really lock them down and getting as much damage as possible on them before they're able to escape. In Weaver's case, of course, time lapse, ideally killing him in that Chronosphere. So, interesting. I really like the Faceless Void pick. With that said, it makes a lot of sense as far as the idea goes. Winter Wyvern at the on the other end should be able to save teammates, of course, with that Cold Embrace. And those Chronospheres, it's just going to be a matter, will he be in the right position to help do so. I like the finish there. Doom coming out from No Creativity. Expecting it to be the off-lane Doom, of course, but getting that Doom effect on a hero such as Viper could potentially be, well, I don't know. Doom itself, maybe not the strongest now that I'm really looking at it. Doom is a hero that definitely is a Silver Edge candidate if you feel like that's necessary, and Silver Edge this game is pretty good. You're dealing with a Viper, you're dealing with an Enchantress, so those 2 heroes especially are heroes you may want to think about getting a Silver Edge on. So I don't know if that had any logic as far as why they went the Doom pick in the end. Again, figuring they needed an offlaner. Is there really any other offlaners that come to mind that could be a possible candidate for that? I mean, obviously you can build it on anyone really, but something like a Beastmaster, Beastmaster very likely might have been banned now that we're into the game, of course. I'm not sure on that. In fact, let me catch up on the stream real quickly. It is a 2-minute delay. Beastmaster was not banned, so I think Beastmaster could have arguably been a strong pick as well for No Creativity, but not that Doom is a bad pick, but again, just thinking other options right here. But again, they decided to go Doom. Enchantress is obviously a great hero for Doom to deal with as well because of the Devour ability, taking away her creeps that she enchants right there. So that maybe what put it over the edge is safe to say here. All right, so game number 1 underway now. Again, we see another Undying. It is going to be a position 5 Undying though. Always want to fly the one planet here for Gambit. Not too often we see it in position 5, usually more in that position 4, but Tusk taking the role of that. Bignum going to be the one playing Tusk here, as Cheshire Cat is on Enchantress.
30 seconds to battle.
Wait a second, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe, yeah, so Cheshire Cat is their position 3 player, right? I know I've seen him before, but the way Tusk is built, he's built a Stout Shield as if he's going to be sitting in lane and not necessarily going to be roaming. So maybe they're just planning to dual lane this. I don't know if Tusk is... No, there's no way he's expecting to get the farm, right? I assume they're going to give it to Enchantress.
The battle begins.
And Tusk ultimately going to play that 4. Well, I mean, it could be wrong. I mean, on Liquidpedia's side as well, it does suggest the Cheshire Cat's the 3, and Bignum is the position 4 player, but yeah, definitely could change it up a little bit, although stops blocking there. I can block the Ice Shards. Oh, got a couple. The greatest placement. So yeah, in the end, it will be Enchantress in the offlane by himself, and Tusk gonna go back, regen some mana. So he was just simply there to help block. At least that was the idea. Unfortunately, he misses shards on a couple. Cheshire Cat doing his best to recover it, but ultimately getting through. And the positioning not the worst here for the Radiant side. As far as matchups go, I almost thought that was Viper for a second. I was like, wait a second. Winter Wyvern and the Quap versus the Viper Undying. So as expected, Undying camp in the middle lane.
Radiant's top tower is under
You see
attack.
Doom doing the pull at the top lane. Looks like he was able to do that effectively. But yeah, Undying spamming this decay. We saw this several times yesterday. Just gets that up to 20 charges especially. Already has 1,000+ life. Once he's up there, you see Queen of Pain's life full right now, 260 life. So it's one of those deceptive things. You think like, oh no, I got a full health bar. All of a sudden, it's just gone. A couple of auto attacks doing that much damage right there. So, and they're really not afraid to play aggressive. Always want to fly. We'll be fine. As Enchantress zoning out the Winter Wyvern as he roams over, attempting to make a play perhaps onto him. But Scandal on Queen of Pain is most certainly feeling the harassment here. Not only dealing with a Viper, who's in himself obviously a great laner, but you got the Undying spamming that decay. I'm sure it's not the most fun lane to be a part of. Probably going to be looking for that support to be helping him as well. And as I mentioned that, both supports are in fact in the area now. Winter Wyvern and Night Stalker are there. They do not need to help the Weaver. Weaver's having absolute free farm right now. As Enchantress, though, is making his way back over. So we'll see if Enchantress is able to make life difficult or not for the Weaver. But Tusk kind of sitting at the top lane, doing his best to zone out Massacre on Doom. Faceless Void also here. Maybe get a bash proc or two. And I don't know if he's going to get any. There's another auto attack. No bash proc. That's 3. Never lucky. No bash. Oh, we got a bash proc. There you go. It's a dance on that one. He's like, oh yeah, I did it. More damage. Night Stalker. Night Stalker we really haven't seen a lot lately, I feel like. He was banned in most games yesterday, so it's probably, you know, good reason, obviously, why we're not seeing him, but still considered a pretty high value position for hero. Did not see him in any of the games yesterday, though, but again, picked up early on here from No Creativity. Oh, Troll Warlord lost from Enchantress. Good job by the Wyvern and the Weaver. Able to take that out, but yeah, Night Stalker, 3 minutes, of course, that important, or 4 minutes, excuse me, that important mark when nighttime kicks in. Ideally would like to be level 3, so he's going to try to leech some experience here, perhaps, and get to that point for perhaps a level 2 Void. We'll get Crippling Fear if he feels it's necessary, but I don't know if that's going to be a necessity here. I think more of that burst damage would very likely make more sense. Unless you're dealing with like a blink here, like a Queen of Pain yourself, maybe to get that silence up to prevent him from, of course, blinking away on attempted gank. But not the case here. You're dealing with a Viper and an Undying in that middle lane. And Enchantress at the bottom lane, who, by the way, could be in trouble. This is definitely First Blood, isn't it? Using the Splinter Blast off of his own creep. And the Centaur Stomp is not going to matter in the end, as Nefrit will get credit for the First Blood. So, well played right there between Weaver and the Winter Wyvern. A lot of W's at this bottom lane. Cheshire Cat finding it a little difficult, understandably, at that bottom there. Scandal, he's manning up against Iceberg currently. He does have that blink, also Magic Wand. Will eventually blink away. I mean, that was a battle that most certainly Viper was going to win. Queen of Pain just wanted to do as much damage as possible before he goes all the way back to base. Saving those wand charges as well. Ooh, double damage. Night Stalker picked it up. So he's not level 3, but it is nighttime. And he's going to head towards the top lane. This could get interesting up here. Tusk, no doubt, going to be the target. You see Doom currently has a Centaur taking over. Usually we don't see a Centaur often in the early laning phase. Something like a Satyr or maybe the Mud Golem for that range stun. But Doom picking up the Centaur. We'll see if he can make a play with it. Obviously they see Night Stalker in the area, especially with that double damage here. They're going to just try to go into Faceless Void, but that's just because he's the only target in the area. Now Tusk shows. Not going to be able to make a play on him, though. Iceberg, he could be in trouble. That Arctic Burn doing some work. Scandal applies the Shadow Strike as well. The Splinter Blast off the creeps. Iceberg popping his own, or getting the heal, though, for the Soul Rip, and they turn on the Queen of Pain. Scandal will fall, and Viper manages to barely survive? Yeah. He'll live with about 30 life right there. I thought he had a wand for a second, but no, that was a Soul Rip coming in at the last second. Level 1 Soul Rip at that. Top lane, meanwhile, Doom is going to end up falling. Tusk getting low, though. Can Storo finish him off? No, he cannot is the answer. And he takes a bash proc now. Daxak is going to be chasing him, it seems like. But, nope, Night Stalker will eventually limp away. Perhaps go back to base, put some regen on. As currently, no, he's just going to pop that Clarity and also eat a tree. So, going to stay in the area, but good kill on a Doom. Obviously didn't catch what was happening. Watching the middle lane, meanwhile. But, yeah, again, Doom having that Centaur creep. I mean, going up against double melee potentially could be good, but Satyr is so strong in that laning phase. We've seen, obviously he can't choose, to be fair. I understand that. So, you know, I'm sure he just went over and took what he can get. But imagine if he had that Satyr especially. It's just damage, more HP regen. He's using the Stomp right here defensively. It's not going to matter, though. Good snowball in from Big Nub. And Night Stalker, all single target. Not much he can do at that point. Bottom lane, though, Undying. Looks like he'll get found by the Weaver and the Wyvern. Caught between a rock and a hard place, perhaps going for that 6-minute rune. Ends up dying as a result. Yeah, by the way, guys, I noticed yesterday on the cast my voice was a little bit lower than others. So let me actually turn myself up a little bit right here. And let me know if that's better, guys, if it's maybe too loud 2 minutes from now. I do apologize. I meant to test that earlier, but we'll do that early on in the cast at least. Make sure it looks good. Iceberg, middle lane. He gets a sword up at the last second. We'll throw a big Chronos throughout 3 different heals. A snowball in. They're going to take out Queen of Pain off the bat. Weaver gets a time lapse off, and we'll be able to survive for now. Have that Arcane Rune as well. Mata, don't think he's getting out of here, though. Just throws out of the Splinter Blast to slow him as much as possible. Weaver from the side, maybe get a turn cone on dying, but no, he's just way too tanky. 1,100 life, and he will survive. As Weaver, no. Going to be able to avoid Enchantress as well. Obviously, a little bit too slippery, especially with that Arcane Rune. Constant Shikuchi's coming out. He's even going back in. They don't have any vision, though, as far as the invis goes. So Weaver feeling pretty comfortable. He also has support coming in, so that's why he wants to play aggressive here. And now Cheshire Cat needs to be careful. He's trying to run away. Going to be heavily slowed, though, and dying the Soul Rip. It's probably not going to be enough. The passive kick it in with the Untouchable. But no, just not enough to survive. And she will indeed go down. So 20 seconds, Enchantress. Having to wait to respawn right here, but action most certainly picking up now 7.5 minutes into this game. 5-3 hero kill lead for Gambit. Massacre, realizing Tusk is no longer at the top lane. Feeling pretty comfortable about running at the Faceless Void. Especially with that Scorched Earth. Almost level 6, so that Doom going to be coming into play. But yeah, big Chronosphere. That's what you like to see from your Faceless Void earlier on, especially. You know, one of those heroes, you get that big ultimate ability, such as the Chronosphere. You want to look to, you don't necessarily want to look to use it ASAP, but if you're able to get an effective one off as soon as possible, it's just pretty much right after you level 6, it had to be. Goes to the middle lane, gets a big 3-man Chronosphere, and obviously sets up the overall sequence pretty good for Gambit. So 1,000 net worth lead looking good for them. Let's switch over to that net worth chart now. As far as the individual heroes, Weaver and Faceless Void both competing for the top. Queen of Pain, wow, Queen of Pain's struggling, isn't she? Scandal, as I say that they're going in. Doom is applied to Viper. Viper's in trouble. Could have just used a Scream, or the Sonic Wave, excuse me, just to make sure. And secures the kill on a Viper right there. So well played. Viper dead for now 20 seconds himself. So Queen of Pain, just as we're mentioning, she's been struggling. Obviously enhancing her farm slightly. As Night Stalker makes his way to the top lane now. He's level 4, goes to level 5, so he's starting to pick up some levels. Wasn't really able to do the most in that first nighttime, though. As far as getting kills, in fact, he was 1-0-1. So I guess he got a kill, he got an assist. Can't be too disappointed by that by any means. But now the second nighttime, about 2.5 minutes away. So having to wait before he's extra enhanced as Doom. Ooh, he's going to pick up a Wild Ring Ripper. Kind of an interesting idea. Does get some bonus armor from that, as well as a tornado ability, but a little more slow to work with. Armor, though, pretty nice in that landing phase as well. Remember, though, the bash procs from Faceless Void are magic damage. So obviously it doesn't really matter on the armor. Not that armor's bad, again, in that case, because overall the individual auto attacks are still physical damage, but level 4 bash coming out, so a lot of bonus damage potentially from Faceless Void.
Illusion.
So Undying will control the Illusion Rune. Almost level 6 himself, not necessarily the biggest deal in the world, not like a Rasta by any means or anything like that. But again, Flesh Golem I feel like is one of those abilities that on Undying that we overlook a little bit. The slow that it provides, the amp damage that it provides as well. A pretty good tool, honestly, in the midst of those fights here. So, and again, when things die around him, he just gets bigger and better. Cheshire Cat. We'll find Queen of Pain in the jungle. I don't know if he's going to be able to make too much of a play on it, but Cheshire Cat does have the drums finished. Man, we saw so many drums yesterday, and just in general in the recent meta, drums have been a go-to option. We saw teams picking up 2, even 3 drums on the same team. I mean, it is a very, very popular item. You expect to see at least 1 on either side. Night Stalker, though, he's going to get trapped in by the Ice Shards. Viper going to help assist. Finish him off. Big Num. Credit for the kill. They're diving beyond a Tier 1 tower right here. Tier 1 will fall, but the Sonic Wave coming out in response now. Undying will fall. And Cheshire Cat just trying to simply live. Again, the level 2 untouchable helping a little bit. Does have a magic wand to survive, perhaps. Viper gets picked off elsewhere. And Cheshire Cat, though, walking away, will ultimately survive, but no creativity. They took advantage of Gambit diving beyond the tower right there, stretching for that initial kill. Kind of bit them in the ass, so they kill Night Stalker, but they lose 2 in the process. Let's take a look at some items, though. We've been caught up talking other things. Queen of Pain going to be going the Veil of Discord. Needs the pattern left before she has that, but Veil with this team setup, It's pretty damn good. I mean, Weaver obviously is not necessarily going to be enhanced magical damage, but other than Sakuchi, I guess. But that's the only thing that's magical for him, right? Yeah. But overall, great. Just simply on Queen of Pain. But you have other heroes such as the Night Stalker and Doom himself taking advantage of it. Speaking of Night Stalker, flying to the top lane. It is nighttime after all, and Viper. That's a free kill if I ever saw one. I mean, 4 heroes coming together. No vision in the jungle, as you can see right now. In fact, vision in general for this dire side is very, very grim. Chronosphere in the middle lane. Oh, man. My guess is he went to go on a Queen of Pain, but she blinked just in time to escape. So that goes from the huge 3-man Chronosphere to, unfortunately, hitting nobody in that one. That'll happen sometimes. Lucky for him, I didn't catch it right off the bat, but I did catch the after effect. Night Stalker
is under attack.
Level 3 Void. Sees Tusk nearby. Weaver finds Undying. He's like, all right, I'll go for Tusk then instead. The Ice Shards. Slowing down a little bit, but going to pop out the Sigil. Don't think that's going to save him. Tombstone's put down. Undying's like, if we want to fight this, activates his Flesh Golem. They're just going to kill the Tombstone very quickly. Yeah, I don't know what always one of the fight was thinking. That had to be miscommunication. Maybe he expected more TPs to come in or something, but not only does he just throw himself at them, but he gives them a Tombstone kill, which is a nice hefty bounty. That I believe Weaver even got last hit credit on it, so not the most ideal situation if you're the Undying right there. Queen of Pain, he's fine.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
What's wrong with the Torte guide, man? I've seen people see that. Torte's awesome with his guides. Torte guides have taught me how to be an Archon 4 player at its finest. All right, back to the game. Yeah, I saw that Enchantress taking over this massive siege creeps. Looks like Cheshire Cat has his enchant creep of choice. Pretty much these siege creeps. Trying to finish a Hood of Defiance now. I guess a pipe would be pretty damn good here in this game. Queen of Pain. Veil's been finished. And she's now 3rd in net worth, but still behind the top 2. Both the Weaver as well as the Faceless Void doing very, very well. But look at the Weaver already finishing a Diffusal Blade early on in the game. Interesting. Faceless Void is going to go the Shadow Blade. He went the Mask of Madness first. I didn't touch on that yet, but a lot of these early game items. Doom has his own drum, so as suggested, we at least see one drums per team nowadays, it feels like. Just too good of an item to pass up. Weaver headed towards the top lane. Tusk. He has 11 wand charges currently. Night Stalker, though, in the area. No, they're not going to go full on it, though. He fell back. He's out of vision. Understandable. Faceless Void goes to the top lane. They want to try to make a play on a Weaver, but with just the Tusk, you're not getting this kill. Yeah, it's not going to happen. So as expected, though, this is a matchup, though, pretty close so far. Silence comes out. There's the extra long silence now as the Doom is applied. Snowball from Tusk trying to save the day. Going to go back in, Undying. Here as well with a Rip Heal if need be. Also pops a Shrine. So Faceless Void definitely surviving throughout this. And now looking to turn. Does have a Chronosphere, by the way, with that Mask of Madness. You know it's going to be coming out, Weaver. TP's out, as does Night Stalker. Maybe it's not going to be happening, though, because Massacre is a little bit too fast, so never mind. Good job retreating from the Radiant side. And on top of retreating, they take out Cheshire Cat at the bottom lane, who is trying to do some push down here while that initiation was taking place. So The Doom may have not gotten the kill on a Kronos onto Faceless Void, that is, but in the end, it helps them get away from definitely a turn chance there from Gambit.
Don't mind if I do.
Faceless does finish the Shadow Blade, though. At least he's purchased the Shadow Amulet. Just a matter of getting it delivered right here. Top lane, Darkness has fallen. Just going to kind of scare the dire side, though. Not going to go for all-out initiation. Of course, into a Chronosphere is a pretty scary decision. How's Viper been looking? Yeah, wow, Viper is struggling, too. Both mid-heroes really not having the greatest start here. A lot of those roams happening early on. It's been an issue. Nightstalker flying over the ledge. The snowball pushed Faceless Void over as well. Oh, never mind. That was a time walk. But anyways, point is, Nightstalker is going to be fine. Manages to barely escape right there, thanks to his Darkness and activating Hunter in the Night. God, that just really enhanced Nightstalker that much more, didn't it? I know it's been a while since that ability's been in, but being able to activate Hunter in the Night, fly over ledges, so good. Tusk is trying to get straight into the Spirit Vessel here. Against a hero like Winter Wyvern. We saw that yesterday in a match. It was actually Tusk versus a Winter Wyvern, sure enough. And Tusk in that matchup made the point to get the Spirit Vessel ASAP. Again, really makes that Cold Embrace not too useful in the end as long as you activate it on that target. Also against Doom. Pretty good against. But just in general, Spirit Vessel's a nice, hefty tool for a support hero. Not only the effect of it, but the fact that it takes a vitality booster to build it in the first place. And it really beefs them up for the upcoming fights here. Faceless Void, or excuse me, Enchantress has Hooded Defiance finished. I was thinking about Faceless Void there while I was looking at her. But yeah, Faceless did finish that Shadow Blade and Maelstrom coming. Yeah, we're mentioning Viper, though. He's trying to finish his own Maelstrom right here. So Maelstrom going to be a popular item, apparently, on this team. In this game in general. Choosing to get more of the damage focus. We see some Vipers sometimes go the Hood themselves even. Even things like drums, speaking of that item. You know, kind of the bulky build, but figuring they want Viper to be able to deal as much damage as possible, especially with the Chronospheres coming out. And to assist the Faceless Void is the idea. Enchantress instead taking care of those items as I'm suggesting there. So, in fact, now a Dragon Lance going to be coming. So, yeah, this is easily a build you could also see on a Viper as well, to be fair. But, again, Enchantress making use of those tools.
Dire's middle tower is under attack. Misery. Dire's structures are fortified.
Thanks.
Roshan attempt. Radiant side doing it, and Dire team has no clue. I mean, they're drawing a line wrapping around with a smoke ink as if they're going to maybe catch somebody or wrap all the way around the Roshan pit, but I think they have an idea it's happening, but they're not going to get here in time. Middle lane, Nightstalker. Oh, Flesh Golem activated from Undying. They kill Roshan, though. And Aegis picked up by Weaver. So Nefrit has that Aegis now. That time lapse. Oh, Faceless Void going to be caught. He went to go for the Chronosphere, but he got silenced beforehand. If he can ties before he can do a damn thing, he will go down. In fact, Tombstone is put down. Witch's Curse activated on Undying. Locking down plenty. The Sonic Wave on multiple heroes. I believe that hit them. Doom does go down, but they do finish off Undying. So Doom Nightstalker dead as well, but Viper also getting picked off. And a fight definitely be won by no creativity. They're going to finish off Tusk, and they're going to go for the complete wipeout here of Gambit Esports. The Splinter Blast connecting, Scandal going in, and a couple more auto attacks from Nefrit. Playing the Weaver will finish the job. Had that Desolator finished as well going into the fight. But the fact that that Faceless Void got locked down right off the bat, you could tell he was looking to land a Chronosphere. The huge silence, though, the crippling fear from Nightstalker. Connecting, being nighttime, the long silence that he had to deal with, was unable to get out of it. And if I'm Faceless Void, I was going to say either a BKB or a Manta style has to be your reaction now. And, you know, looking at that, frankly, you almost going to think, was Shadow Blade the best option? I mean, the idea is that he could Shadow Blade in and then set up a good Chronosphere as a result, but it's all right there. If he gets caught out of the Shadow Blade, he's not only in trouble, but he kind of ruins the whole momentum of a team fight for his team right here. They're really relying on him and obviously the farm that he has to be able to have a good initiation. So, well played, though, by No Creativity, and now they have their biggest lead of the game, 4,000 net worth.
Radiant are scanning.
Faceless Void using the Chronosphere solo on a Night Stalker. Will actually pick up the kills. It's almost like a frustration Chronosphere, I feel like. Does kill Night Stalker, but it's just a Night Stalker. And that's down for another 125 seconds now at its fullest. So, yeah, if you're the Radiant side, yeah, understandable. They're kind of still sticking around. Now, granted, Queen of Pain is not here, but they're going to go for Enchantress, but there's a lot more here than they realize, I think. Tombstone's put down. The Rip Heal coming out. The Winter's Curse, however, activated on Tuts. Keeping Enchantress nearby, if anything. Here comes Faceless Void, though. Again, no Chronosphere. He's going to look for a target to beat down. Going for the Winter Wyvern. The finish onto Enchantress, meanwhile, as Weaver gets back with the time lapse, and now looking to take out Faceless Void on top of that. Nefrid, he will go down, but again, he had the H, so now here comes Night Stalker. Queen of Pain also running in here last seconds and working out beautifully for No Creativity so far. The net locking down Undying will finish him off as well. Good job from Doom right there. And now Iceberg goes down, a Sonic Wave, not even necessary, but Nefrid picks up the triple kill in the midst of it. It looked a little scary initially for No Creativity. Again, I think they underestimated how many people were there in the beginning, but boy, did it work out in the long run. Well played by them. The scatter was real. Faceless Void completely spread out from his team. It's like he was doing a 1 versus 2, 1 versus 3 at the bottom, where the rest of his team was trying to run from the Weaver, basically. And again, it worked out beautifully for No Creativity as a result. And now they're going to push the Tier 2 bottom lane. And you look at Queen of Pain now. Again, the struggle was real early on, but was he able to get the Veil finally? Now has an Orchid finish, another 1,300 gold saved up. I feel like Viper has just had no impact this game. BKBs ideally will change that, although Viper's not even going for that. He's just going to go Dragonlance and a Hurricane Pike. But Faceless Void trying to pick up that BKB, which goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Definitely a tool that he needs. But until he gets the BKB, and I want to say definitely the Hurricane Pike on Viper, you cannot feel comfortable to fight right now if you're Gambit. Enchantress is doing all right as well. 8,000 hours. She's actually out there with the Faceless Void, even higher than the Viper currently. What is this about? Tusk taking the Shadow Strike. Winter Wyvern. It's like, ah, crap. I'm in trouble. Gonna go for the TP, though. And he'll get out. Ooh, Faceless Void. I mean, had a Chronosphere, but as we just mentioned, we saw him use it on the Night Stalker, and 30 seconds later, a fight breaks out and they lose the fight. So, yeah, it's you gotta really be careful when you use that Chronosphere. Even when you get a kill with it, it sometimes may not be worth it. Faceless Void. He wants to get this Kona Weaver, but Weaver reacting a little bit too quickly. Darkness is summoned. Iceberg. He'll find Night Stalker. Break effect coming in, but not going to be able to ultimately catch up. He's a little bit too... Again, using the Chronosphere. Oh, they're going to reset this, though. Tombstone's put down. Scano's just going to pick up the Tombstone in the midst of the fight. Faceless Void's in trouble. The Rip Heal on a Tombstone. And Faceless Void is trying to man mode. He goes down. You can tell, though, Gambit seems a little bit frustrated and a little bit discombobulated, if I dare use that word. 2-for-1 exchange. Nefrid is indeed godlike. And No Creativity is just going to push the Tier 2 top lane now as well. Yeah, back-to-back Chronospheres on solo Night Stalkers just does not seem like the play to make if you're Gambit Esports here. And he's still so far from getting that BKB. The more fights they take like this, especially on the losing end, an obvious statement, I understand, but still feel like it's worth making the further it's just putting them behind. And this is not a game they're just going to be able to rely on, oh, we'll take it to the late game and be fine. I mean, Weaver, by all means, is very scary in that late game, especially with that level 25 Shikuchi movement speed. And now he just flies around and fights. And then, of course, Queen of Pain can be, well, a pain herself at that point as well. I saw Doom, he had a Shadow Blade queued up earlier as if he's going to maybe go that Silver Edge, but with the way these fights have been going, I could understand why he's not finding it necessary. He instead gets the Blink to be able to get in there and apply Doom on said target, has a Solar Crest now finished, even has a casual Plate Mail sitting in his inventory, so either the Shivas or the AC, will be happening here. See Tusk sitting on the casual buckler himself. Pretty good against the Weaver. I was trying to think about the Viper's Nether Toxin here with that break effect.
A golden thread.
And whether or not is that really doing a lot this game, breaking much, and I guess it's not necessarily, is the conclusion I came to.
Time is money.
Just didn't even think about that earlier on, though. Queen of Pain is actually going to go an AC herself. She, too, picks up a casual plate mail. I mean, obviously, a lot of this damage is physical between the Faceless Void and the Weaver, and even Enchantress to an extent, although into stacks. But anyways, Faceless Void, oof. That curse was coming. If Winter Wyvern gets there, that's a dead Faceless Void, most likely. Undying. Gonna be dying. Don't know what the game plan was there. Is he like, here, half gold? If you're gonna kill me, I might as well give you 200 more gold on top of that. And yeah, that just seemed like pure panic there. Queen of Pain has a gem now as well. I don't even know if, yeah, Mata's the one that purchased it, but speaking of Mata, he escaped you at the top lane. Faceless Void, again, still, it feels like he's been working on this BKB forever. I keep expecting to just about see it, but I mean, he has enough for the Mythril Hammer. He still needs the pattern on top of that, and you see what they're trying to find that kills, but if I'm this Faceless Void, it just seems like you just got to be farming. Like, you have Enchantress farm in the jungle currently. I feel like that should be Faceless Void. You know, getting that BKB is so important right now. But instead, it almost seems like Gambit's more interested as far as to group up and try to pick some fights. But round number 4, we'll see how this one goes. In fact, Faceless Void's going to be caught himself. The Doom is applied, and he's going to be dead off the bat. Iceberg's like, I got to get out of here. He just TPs immediately. Big Numb, he's going to catch himself between the shards and the trees. And meanwhile, somebody else is dying over here. That would be Enchantress. Back over to Big Numb. That's going to be another kill as well, as he's finished off. Yeah, not the prettiest take there once again from Gambit. Obviously no creativity this time, got the massive jump. Again, it just seems to go back to Gambit. It seems just unsure of what they want to do, what they can be doing. Efrit has a time lapse. He's going to man up here against the Viper. Popping the time lapse. Tombstone comes down. Rip heals. Always want to fly, though. Just not enough. And look at him fall. 2 auto attacks nearly killed him right there from the Weaver. And again, another Tombstone take right after. So 17,000 net worth. This is really starting to get to a both not only just a net worth, but again, you could really feel Gambit this game as far as they're almost just frustrated. Things just aren't connecting. It's one of those cases where I know they don't even have any racks to store just yet, but honestly, your best option may be to throw in the towel here, maybe after one more big fight, and just kind of forget this game ever existed. Move on to game 2. You know, Gambit's definitely a better team than they showed this game. They're going to lock down Weaver with the Solar Chronosphere. Out comes a Cold Embrace, though. The Spirit Vessel applied, however, and they get the kill on a Weaver. So far, pretty good. Sonic Wave off 3. They'll buy back on a Weaver, by the way. He's going to come back in. They already got the kill on a Faceless Void. Viper's still waiting to resurrect. 5 more seconds. Faceless will have to buy back. They take it on Undying, though. Tusk is going to be run past the Tier 4 towers, and he's probably going to tick down to all of that dot damage. In fact, Scandal makes sure to finish it. But at what cost now? Scandal went a little bit too deep, and he ends up going down. So very chaotic fight in the middle lane, but ultimately they get the racks destroyed and they will fall back. I mean, gold swing wise, that actually was in favor of Gambit Sports, especially with all the buybacks happening right there,
Double damage,
including Weaver. But they bought back a couple of themselves. Roshan, there you go. That was basically a max Roshan respawn. They're going to set it up. So Faceless Void's in the area, but still no BKB. Doesn't have a Chronosphere for 65 more seconds. Of course, no creativity knows this. Storo, there's the Doom on Faceless. He was going to time walk over the ledge. All of a sudden he can't. He goes down. Big Numb, at least Walrus punch onto the Weaver. The time walk, though, he'll be fine. Gets the Cold Embrace to help heal him up and save the day. And now they're turning in this is where I expect GG's to be coming out. Viper, he's going to fall. Big Num, he too is going to get picked off right here. Queen of Pain, actually. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. She's dead from earlier. That was Night Stalker that just died. Tombstone's put down. Cheshire Arcad's trying to man mode this. It's a 3 versus 2, and actually Nefrit is very low. He has a BKB coming back up. Massacre, though, going to be saved by the Cold Embrace once again. Winter's Curse applied on Undying. Undying is probably going to be dying as a result. Indeed, he will. And now Cheshire Cat insisting on chasing still, but Massacre's like, I'll slowly auto-attack. Nope, gets a miss. And now Scandal's back, though. Villa Destroy's put up. Mata will survive with the Cold Embrace, and there you go. The Infernal Blade auto-attack finally happening there. And now they go back into the Roshan pit. And looking to finish off. So, yeah, the Chronosphere, I mean, definitely the best one yet. If you're going to solo Chronosphere anybody, it's obviously the Weaver is a key target to do that on.
Immortality.
So maybe I called it too soon, though. Gambit Sports. Is it Gambit Esports or Gambit Sports, by the way? It's Gambit Esports, okay. I still feel like they have a shot. I mean, again, we saw what happened if they get the Chronosphere off in a hero like Weaver. They can kill him, even with the Cold Embrace. A Spear Vessel doing work.
Almighty money.
But you just have these bigger and better items continuing to come out. Cheese, of course, on Queen of Pain. Weaver picking up the Aegis, as well as a Eagle Song purchased on top of that. To the soon Butterfly, Queen of Pain. AC has been picked up. Scythe is actually going to be coming as well. You got Night Stalker with his own Spirit Vessel. Winter Wyvern, I'm sure, even has plenty. Yeah, has a 4-staff with those arcane boots of his. On the other side, you have Undying with brown boots and a wand. Viper, Hurricane Pike, Maelstrom. Tusk, Casual Buckler, Spirit Vessel. Enchantress has the same items that she's had for a bit. And Faceless Void, still no BKB. That's got to be frustrating, man. He's been working on that BKB for at least 10 minutes, at least.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack. Dire's bottom tower has fallen. Radiant's top tower is under attack.
There we go. Push bottom lane. And the Aegis on Weaver. Almost level 25, by the way. No one's level 25 yet, right? Yeah, no, he's the highest. Oh, he's taking a lot of damage. Old Embrace, though. I'll heal him back up slightly.
I'm in your debt.
And there's a Spirit Vessel, just to make sure. God, Spirit Vessel really does regenerate a lot. All right, Chronosphere is ready. Once again.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
No creativity. Again, even with the lead that they have, it's understandable they're being a little bit weary here. If anything, stays spread out as much as possible. The break effect applied. Weaver in trouble. Chronosphere not going to be used just yet. Massacre just running at them in the back. That's Chronosphere on 3 heroes, actually. Pretty big one. Doxa, can they even finish off the Doom, though? He's so damn tanky with all that armor. They finally get the kill, but at what cost? Now the Sonic Wave on 4 heroes, I believe. And Queen of Pain is standing his ground. Doxak will be able to pick up the Winter Wyvern, and actually still alive, and now putting the bash proc in the Queen of Pain. Finally goes down himself, though. Viper's dead as well, so the core's getting taken out in the back lines. Viper does buy back. But yeah, Nefrit was just back here himself. As much damage as they were doing on the Queen and others, Nefrit was having free reign on that Weaver, dealing so much right-click himself. He ends up getting the triple kill. Gonna make it a quad kill, looks like. AKA ultra kill. Get the rampage before the game ends? No, not going to happen. So GG's called game number 1. Going to no creativity at this point. So, I mean, some people may call that an upset. Personally, again, looking at the players on the team especially, I can't say I call that like a huge upset by any means. But definitely no creativity. They looked much better, got to say, in that game number 1. The results showed that. So, expect more out of Gambit Esports. I'm sure they'll bring that in game number 2. I don't think their draft was a huge issue. Again, Faceless Void got free farm essentially. in that game. Viper competed with the Queen of Pain. They were both in a very similar spot coming out of the landing phase. Enchantress actually had decent farm herself. It's just the movement early on. Undying did feel out of place as well. I think that you could argue maybe was the only part of the draft that just didn't seem like it fit the most. But ultimately, it great play from No Creativity as a team and taking advantage of said mistakes. And look at that Weaver, man. 18, 1, and 20 as far as his hero stat line goes. So very well played. Game number 1 in the books, guys. We got game number 2 going to be coming up next shortly here. I'm sure we'll get a better performance out of Gambit Esports. Again, at least you expect that. So we'll see how it happens, though. Gambit versus No Creativity, game number 2, the StarLadder I-League Star Series CIS Qualifiers. There's so many words to remember, man. Game number 2 of this series. I'm Bricky CPK. Stay tuned, guys. We'll be right back.